Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remco Rinkema, and today I am joined by Scott Seiver to watch some epic high-stakes poker footage. And I don't use that word lightly because we picked some episodes today that will truly qualify for the word epic. And while this intro for the show runs, Scott, I just want to ask, how are you doing? I mean, this has been a crazy year. I hope you're well.
I'm doing well. I mean, like I said, everyone, doing as well as we all can be during times like this, you know. It's tough. It's kind of crazy, but all things considered, doing well.
Right. When you see action like this, when you see bricks of cash on the table, does that make you long even more for some big action yourself?
Oh, God, I'm missing it so much. I would say you have no idea, but I'm sure you can imagine. I miss it so much.
Well, it's good to have you on the show today. And when I asked you to be on the show, you had one very specific request. You wanted to watch the action that we are about to see. So explain to me your relationship with this game, with this broadcast, and specifically like why you picked these episodes.
Like 10, 12 years ago, that time, like probably everyone in poker, I loved watching all these episodes so much. They would just be so much fun. And I've always thought that this episode like really encapsulates all the fun that like can be shown in poker. And I don't know, it's just always really stuck with me as like, this is an ideal to like live up to.
Right. I have to ask you this question. How close were you, if you ever were, to being on high stakes poker yourself?
I really wasn't. It was like mostly before my time. I was like really only playing online still during all this pretty much.
So clearly, you know, this was something to aspire to back in those days. High Stakes Poker is coming back. All 7 seasons are available on PokerGO. We are working really hard on Season 8. Of course, COVID is putting a bit of a damper on those plans. But Scott, if the opportunity presents itself, are you, chomping at the bit to get into that lineup?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, it's like kind of the dream. You had like the best commentators, you had people that were making poker fun, and you had just like great action. It was like really the perfect combination of everything.
Yeah, absolutely. You featured on the Super High Roller Cash game, which sort of had a bit of that high-stakes poker feel as far as, a game like that in the modern era. So if anyone hasn't seen those episodes, those are also all available on PokerGO. Some epic footage, which I thought we should be breaking down right now. But, you went for high-stakes poker for the old-school stuff, which, I can highly appreciate as well. We're about to dive into some of these hands, and we have, of course, Gabe and AJ with us. But for the people who are new to the show, this is Run It Back. We break down epic footage from the past. If you guys have questions for Scott, please send them in on Facebook or YouTube. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're enjoying yourself, it's a Thursday night, crack open a beer, wherever you're at in the world. I feel as though there's always a good reason during this quarantine time. And there we have it. Here's the lineup. Mr. I Love America, Antonio Esfandiari in the 1 seat. We have Sammy Farha at the table. Of course, Barry Greenstein, Doyle Brunson, who played on all the seasons of High Stakes Poker. Then we have Patrik Antonius, Jamie Gold, Guy Laliberte. I cannot think of a crazier lineup.
Yeah, you have such a great blend too of like, of personality types too, of like the grizzled vets, the young guy trying to make a name for himself, the entertainer. Like you have Doyle, you have Patrik, you have Guy, you have Sammy. You just have like every aspect that I feel you would ever want in an episode of televised poker.
If there's ever a time to shut up during a hand from our perspective, it's probably this moment. So let's listen in on what's about to develop.
On my home, this is my, there's Doyle's 10 deuce, and I have this. This is my favorite. You'll see on TV.
Should we get it over with now or after?
Depends on your hand.
Should we get it all in now or later?
It's too much money for all that.
Let's see some gambling over here. Let's see a big one.
Too much money for all that.
Let's see a dark bet and a dark raise. Let's see something like that.
I call.
Dark bet,
I'll raise it.
raise.
I'll bet it in the dark if he checks.
That surprised me. Jamie just called.
10,000. I love you guys.
Wait. Maybe I'll bet dark too.
Hold on.
Jamie's checked. I'm lost here.
But I can.
You can raise.
Jamie checked Doc before the flop and Sammy bet. Now Jamie's thinking of raising.
Too much money.
He's not brave enough.
Wait, but how would the action go then? Then we have to see the turn.
No,
you have to.
You can call dark if
I just call, we see the turn.
We gotta see.
But
the
if you
turn. No,
Unreal.
we see the turn.
Yeah.
It's
If I
real
just
money.
call,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
real money.
What does poker's come to?
Yeah, where it is now.
God, I
Doyle's
really like
gonna
this
have 3 straight of the best lines ever.
Oh my God, this is just already insane. Like,
It's
also,
already unbelievable.
right, and the beauty of this moment is, and I looked this up, this is the first hand off the deck. They just started playing on this session.
I really
And
And
if I
they're like
raise now-
thousands of blinds deep. They're like
Oh.
unbelievably deep.
And they're both so aggressive and they're both so crazy that they both think, well, I mean, of course, you know, Sammy has aces, but Jamie Gold has aces also for, you know, all he cares.
Yeah. They both think the other must have like 7-3 offsuit.
Jamie thinks he has the best hand, and he's trapping Sammy.
Wow, you guys are the sickest I've ever met in my life.
So just to recap here, we have a blind check, a blind bet of 10K, and a blind check raise to 30K. I mean, this is...
After just calling pre-flop as well. Jamie calls pre-flop, then check raises dark, which is just so much more exciting than raising pre-flop.
How often in your entire poker career have you check raised blind?
Never. I've definitely... I might have done it once actually because of this hand. Now
Right.
that I'm thinking about it.
I'm addressing the nation and the world right now. If you can tell me a story of a blind check raise in honor of this hand, or if you've never done it and if you get a chance to do this in the future, send me your hand history or send me the video and I'll send you some PokerGO merch. I'll make that happen. This is just this has to be a staple of games in the future. Okay, let's listen. Let's watch.
No flop. Re-raise me. Re-raise me. Re-raise me.
Boy, Sammy is playing this to the hilt.
Oh my God, this is sick. Wait, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. Hold the deck. Stop the camera. That is so sick.
Is this game here every day? Why can't this be here every single day morning
This is
tonight?
good TV.
It's a great TV, buddy.
Sick versus sicker.
What I don't understand,
Wait, and you know what? I'm going to tip the dealer in advance.
You've heard of Dumb and Dumber?
I don't understand. Why didn't you raise me
That's
before
line
the
number
flop?
2.
You think? What
And
do you
you
think
went
I have?
crazy.
I have the
Now,
hand.
if I call, that means the flop is there and
We
burn
just see the turn. Yeah, we just see the
Perhaps you can
turn.
move all in right
Or
now.
you can move all in now.
You got him balled.
You're a sick man.
You
Unreal.
always get to see the
If
flop.
Sammy
though.
Farha calls me a sick
There's
man,
always a flop.
Well,
And a turn, if you call. Because it was a pre.
well, what I'm trying to.
Exactly, it's a flop action.
So we're always gonna.
So how much is Sammy thinking right now? Like, how am I gonna get his whole stack? Do I just go all in now? Like,
Sammy's really trying to act here. He's going to go a little over the top in like a minute, but right now he's really trying to keep it together and be like, wow, what crazy action. I don't know what to do.
oh my God.
It's funny. There is something wrong with his hand. You understand? And the problem with his hand is that I raised before the flop. He just called, and he's doing a show right now, and I know he's weak. And I know I
how
got a
weak?
hand.
But he might hit the flop.
I might have.
He's
I could
always
have.
getting the flop.
You got a problem with your hand, buddy, because you didn't raise me. But you made a statement. Let me think about what you said.
The eyes go straight up.
Sammy, you might have got someone
This is
sicker
the
than you.
slowest
I mean-
computer I've seen on TV, so.
This is as close to the Godfather as we're ever going to get in poker.
Yes.
Not in my house.
Sammy, you can fold too.
Buddy, no, I don't think you have a hand. I don't think you have a hand.
That's a bet for the flop.
I have something. Sammy, I have something. I have something.
At
I
this
have
point, do you think Jamie thinks he has the best hand?
I feel in that
absolutely.
moment,
Still do, yeah.
Jamie has just gotten terrified
Right.
that he might like lose all his money.
But there's no flop. You can't have something.
If he moves in,
You know what I mean? I'm saying like I have a hand. I have a potential.
I think.
I bet 10, you bet 20, 20 more.
This is for TV.
The funniest part to me at this point is that Sammy can just say, let's just see a flop. Let's just, you know, let's just, and meanwhile, he's contemplating this bet, even though, like, we haven't even seen.
Yeah, he's allowed to choose no action and see 3 cards.
Okay, I'm gonna raise it.
You're
But
raising.
no, we're gonna get the
got the aces.
dark re-raise.
What do you got?
Sammy.
Well, I mean, no, it's not that. It's that you don't have a hand. I'm betting against you.
Wait.
It's like when you play
You're doing
against
all
the
this with the aces
blackjack.
to me?
Well, I have a hand.
Sammy.
You told me you have a hand.
You
I
have
have a
the
hand.
aces?
I have a hand.
'Cause I'm
He
in
was
deep.
like
I'm
nods.
in
He
deep. I'm in
can't
deep
help
with- if
himself.
you have
He
aces, I'm in
accidentally
deep.
nods there.
I'm in so much trouble if you have aces.
Well, throw your hand away. I'm happy with it.
Sammy.
Jamie is basically
Oh my
told
God.
Sammy that he's
Well,
got
because
king.
we're gambling and you're not gambling,
Now we
Doyle.
see a flop.
You
Well,
are
I
not-
can't go away now. Now
What?
we just. Now what happens? We just see the turn. If I just call.
yeah, we're playing the flop, right? So he puts the flop.
And then the turn.
Yeah.
Flop and turn.
Sammy, you're
Let's make
playing me.
it.
Have you ever forgotten what street you're on? Like, seriously, this is...
Yeah.
Flop and the turn, right?
You were playing me with the aces the whole time.
I can see the flop. That's hard. Okay, go ahead.
Because it's a,
Now we're gonna see the turn, right?
yeah, we have
Okay.
to.
We have to be so upset.
You're doing all this to me with aces.
I'm not doing it to you. You did it to yourself. I mean, I bet
One of the
10,000
greatest lines of all time.
Which applies to a lot of Jamie Gold moments. Like, you did it to yourself.
Yes.
I check.
You're a sick man.
I may have a set, so don't be upset.
I'm not upset. I'm upset.
That could be a t-shirt. I may have a set. Don't be upset.
No, I'm sick of it.
I feel at this point, every single person at the table knows what both of them have,
Exactly
Yeah.
what both players have.
including the two of them.
Right.
250. Oh, I got two. I got
You
a lot
want
of
to just
money.
check it down?
Wait, I got a lot of money. I probably might have to do that. I didn't know I have that much.
You
I
want to
swear.
just check it down?
Wait, let me count
Once
my
in a
money.
lifetime opportunity.
One,
I'm giving you an
50.
opportunity.
He's begging for the check.
Well, it
Exactly.
sounds like this high-level negotiation is going to go on for a while. We'll be back.
My daddy knew I was losing in this poker game. He'd
That's what I was thinking.
come out of the grave and beat the heck out of me.
That is the greatest line of all time that I still use to this day constantly.
Really?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that line is so good.
Oh my God.
That is sick, Jimmy.
I mean, you talk about players in 2020 being slow. This hand has taken like 18 minutes.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
this hand is
Okay.
unbelievable.
Maybe not.
It goes for hours.
I believe you. That's the funny part. The funny part, I believe you.
I like you. You know I like you.
I like you too, but
So I
I'm
think-
losing so much.
Fellas, we're playing poker.
Come on, we
my
gotta go.
God.
Come on.
Go home. Get Daniel here instead.
Doyle says there's no love in
Switching with me,
poker.
He's taking my seat.
Who wants to play with Doyle? He's too good for us.
You can't blame us.
Dolly, I'm losing, and the guy is crazy.
Just check, Sammy.
He's
Or bet
begging.
10,000.
No, that's a lot. I want to protect my hand, Jamie. I want to bet 100.
I have to call you.
Why?
'Cause I told you I have a monster hand. I'm sorry.
Jamie, I'm trying to win it. You don't have to call.
Is this the moment where Jamie Gold could have folded his kings?
Yes, of course. Like,
3,000 short?
I'm pretty sure that
Sammy,
if
you
any
wanna just
card
check?
but a king or possibly a queen comes
want you
off
to
on the
fold it,
river,
man.
Sammy's
I
going
called
all
already.
in,
I called you already.
and Jamie's calling.
I was telling you that I have a monster. I'm trying to.
Hold it. Let's see what
Well,
you
Jamie
You
could
wanna
get
check
away
it
from
down?
it if an ace comes on the river.
I'm gonna check it down now.
I'm not calling
Now
you.
we
with
put in
nothing, you know. What do you think
200,000
I'm calling
each.
you?
Oh my God.
Well, it's the
Do
river
we
means.
want to hurt each other or no?
Well, it's not that.
It's already there, that's
It's-
for sure.
It's the river. It's not gonna make any difference. It's just either you make your hand or I'm gonna win.
Isn't poker all about hurting someone?
Meanwhile, Maury Esfandiari is yelling against the dealer through his earpiece, "Do not deal the river until they're done talking." Like,
Yeah.
It makes no difference.
Just
the
the
river,
word,
but
poker.
If I have
I'm
nothing, I
saying,
might want to
Sammy,
bet,
do
right?
you want to get all the money in or you want to check it? Come on.
No, I don't want to get it now. Maybe at the end I want to bluff
Fine,
you
let's
out.
go. Let's go.
Wait.
What?
Maybe at the end I'll bluff you.
What are we waiting for?
Sammy said wait. You said wait, right?
You can't bet anymore. I called.
Ah.
You gotta pick the card. Yeah, let's
how it
go.
works.
Let's
He
go.
Okay.
forgot that they're not dark.
Okay.
oh my God.
If you have a 10, you got me.
I got you anyway. I check.
I don't think you got me.
I do, Sammy. I'm calling. Whatever you do, I'm calling. I call. Go, call. I can't. I'm not laying. You think I'm laying down my hand after putting in $200,000? You think I'm laying down my hand? So whatever you bet.
Jamie, I got you beat. I want you to know
so
I
I'm
have you beat.
so then check.
I have you beat. Why would I check if I have you beat?
Then check.
Yes.
I call. I call. Let's go. I call.
That call is
Call.
not binding
I know you're not calling.
I
until
call.
Sammy bets.
Sammy, I call. You don't have enough to get me off the hand. I put in too much. I can't fold.
I understand.
So just bet. I
I'm
call.
losing. Mark your hand because I got
Oh
you.
my
Bet,
God.
you bet I call. I already said I call. I call. I call. I call. I call. I call. I
understand.
call.
I want to count my money and put it in. Can I do that or what?
You combine me to it. I'm calling. There's no chance I'm folding. You think I'm folding after all this?
Of course not.
All right, so bet me. You want more money? Take it.
It's not that. It's I have to bet my hand. I'm losing too much.
Wow.
What am I gonna do?
I like you. Mark your hand.
I like you too. I can't muck my hand. It's too late.
You have to mark your hand.
It's too
I
late.
have the best hand.
You don't.
Okay.
I like you. Muck your hands. I like
gave you an
you. I'm
opportunity.
gonna
I'm
call.
sorry.
Unreal. Also, instead of just saying all in, Sammy's like just slowly counting out all his chips.
Because Sammy is so happy right now. He just wants this moment to go forever.
I like you. Somebody else.
I like you too. I thought we should just check it because it's enough already.
What do you want me to do? Check it?
I told you we should check it from the turns. You shouldn't put any more money.
Guy is like, where am I? What planet is this?
Here, buddy.
I know you have aces. Enough.
I sent you this, okay? Because I like you. You
I
know
know.
that. You understand? Because I like you,
I know.
right?
I know, but I can't get off of it. What am I
I
going to do?
understand. But somebody else, I'll bet him. Look at this.
I could also.
And I know you're calling.
Of course I'm calling.
Yeah, but I want you to call. You understand?
Wow.
Of course, I didn't think he had king. By the
You
way.
understand? I want you to call.
Of course.
If I'd had 2 jacks or
Queens, I'm folding. I can't fold the kings.
Jamie, you saved 185,000. You played well.
You owe me. Just remember what you owe me,
Okay.
because you know I'll bet aces anybody. I don't care. Of
course.
And I know it's good. They're
Everybody else would have lost another 185,000.
good. In the whole wide world.
I promise you I would have.
No one can keep a straight
Only
face.
called before the flop.
I mean,
That's true. Jamie's talk paid off.
in the flop
for
and
him
a
in
half
that pot.
street.
Jamie,
this is
just
unreal.
remember that.
Insane.
For some context, Scott, like, how do you know Sammy? Did you see him around a lot back in the days when you first started playing high stakes live? Like, do you have any Sammy stories of your own?
Honestly, it's so random, but probably my favorite Sammy story is either the first or second year I ever played the World Series. I decided to jump into the 1508. I didn't even know the rules. I was just like, fuck it, let's try this out, see how it goes. And Sammy's at my table. And the very first hand I get, I have like double suited good aces, like just like best hand. Even I knew it was a good hand. And the hand was just like a totally normal hand where I just like raise and bet every street and win. And Sammy turns to me and goes, "Kid, I love the way you played that hand. I expect big things from you. Here, let me buy 20% of you in this tournament."
No way.
Had no idea my name, who I was, anything. I was 21. He's just like, "I love the way you played that hand." I just bet aces, one street, and won.
Omaha 8. That's
Yeah.
really the game
And
where
I
you
was
can
like,
spot
"Oh, man,
talent.
it's just like a great introduction to Sammy Farha. I loved it.
All the talent scouts are watching the 08 games to find the next superstars.
Exactly.
Unreal. That's a really funny story.
Gold said, I call.
Oh my God. For people who want more Sammy Farha stories, Brandon Adams told me a bunch on this very show a couple of months ago, how they had a grudge match at the Venetian, played heads up PLO for many days. That's a pretty good show as well. But yeah, wow. I have to cool down from all this action. This is just one of the most. Is this a top 5 hand of all time?
Has to be. Absolutely has to be. It was bet call pre, and then check bet raise 3-bet call dark. So you go straight to a turn, bet call, and then somehow the river goes check check because they like each other, they say.
Oh my God. Oh my God. It's
Unbelievable hand. Insane.
It doesn't matter how many times I see that hand. I laugh every single time.
Every time.
It just makes absolutely no sense.
Antonio goads them into it. It goes perfectly. Doyle has 3 of the best one-liners in history. And normally reserved Barry is just like cracking up, can't keep a straight face.
Oh my God. And meanwhile, if you pay attention to Guy during this whole hand, his eyes are like the whole time like, what is going on in this game? Like it's just mind
He's
blowing.
the one that wants to start screaming, "Lock the doors, no one can leave." It's amazing. It's unbelievable.
Exactly. Let me ask you about your experience playing high stakes. Have you does it happen a lot that games sort of get out of hand? Like, oh, you're playing 5100 and all of a sudden there's like 7 straddles and everybody's drinking and it's going crazy. Because this is sort of what that feels like. Like you're playing a game of poker and all of a sudden things go bananas and then you can never go back to normal.
Yeah, it definitely happens. Not all the time, but the problem is like it'll happen once or something, say over a summer, and then you can never go back. So then you just have craziness for the next 6 weeks or whatever. Like every year the same thing happens where we all decide we're going to play this game. It's going to be like kind of a normal game. Then one night happens where there's like a 36-hour session. Everyone's lost their mind. Insanity ensues. And then you can never go back to normal.
Right.
Because everyone has lost their mind. It just snaps, and then you have a month of craziness.
Exactly. Oh my God. It like that whole sort of dynamic. I've been lucky to observe it a few times, seeing it go crazy. Like I've seen like in big games, straddles go to the button, and then it just feels as though like everyone's just all in every hand, and then everyone's stuck, and then everybody wants to keep playing bigger because once you're stuck, you can't go back.
Exactly. There's just the train only goes forward. That's like kind of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, we're seeing a casual 200K pod between Sammy and Barry, and in this case, Farha has basically the nuts, 2 pair, which is, in his case, definitely the nuts.
Oh yeah, and especially when you're playing against Sammy, like he really earned his reputation. The guy is crazy. So like you get Jack 9, you're like, I have top pair. Oh, now I have a gut shot. Now I'm on the river, and it's only one more street. It's like it all just falls into line of losing a lot of money when Sammy makes a hand.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel as though because those players give so much action and they're always willing to put up the money, you don't feel as bad losing to them.
Correct, 100%. It's like, the tax that the whole table pays, and sometimes you're just the one who has to pay it.
Right.
No. Thank you, man.
First hand has claimed another victim.
I mean, not that this is a small game, but it's not like a crazy like 1,000, 2,000 game. There's been literally 2 hands dealt at the table, and Sammy's up like $350,000.
Oh man, it's just so ridiculous.
Without busting anyone.
Right, and I think what made this game so good and what made this such good TV is the endless bricks on the table. Like they barely have a...
I was about to say that. It's just beautiful.
They barely have a place to put their drinks. Like there's just look at Sammy. He has like a fortress of money in front of him. It's ridiculous.
I really think it changes, maybe not as much in the modern day, but I still think it changes a lot the dynamic of a poker game when you're using cash instead of chips.
Right.
It feels more real. I think it's a little harder to pull the trigger on the big bluff or make the huge call. You're just like, wow, look at these stacks of cash I have to put in. It's just a different feeling.
Exactly. For the people in the chat, I see all your questions, I see all your comments, but we're having a blast with all these bizarre hands. So I will get to those questions later on in the show when we have a moment to breathe. But right now, as you guys can tell, we're multi-way to the pod, and there's still a lot of action to be covered. So keep those questions coming. Keep liking the video too; it helps a lot. And then we'll provide you guys with some insights on all this shenanigans. A pair for Sammy, which means it's probably going to go nuts again.
I mean, and just how great is it? You have 5-way raised action, and Sammy's got top pair, and everyone's like, oh, he's just going to try to win 100% of the hands today, I guess.
Right. I mean, everyone has a backdoor draw, so, what reason is there really to fold?
Oh, it's such a great action flop.
I'd be afraid to touch Sammy right now.
Okay, now you owe me 170. If I win this one.
What a line.
Now you owe me 170 because he had 180 and he makes a 10K loose call.
Oh my god.
The 9, the hearts.
And Doyle is legit thinking, like, I probably have the best hand here. Like,
yeah.
I want to do something stupid I haven't done for the last 2 days. You know what it is? Bet 20. Normally I bet 50. That is stupid.
Also, what
think either Jamie or Doyle can call.
What makes these old episodes so nice and this group really great is that it's kind of always a fun atmosphere no matter what, which is like really cool to see.
Right.
Obviously that gets like pushed to the limit a little bit when like one person is winning all the money, and like, if Sammy just like breaks everyone, then there's going to be a lot of, quiet long faces. But in general, just like no one really sweats it, which adds a lot to the mystique, I feel.
Right. Is the average atmosphere in a big game that you play closer to this or closer to the final table of a tournament?
I would say when I play the mixed games, it's pretty much exactly like this, but times I play big no limit games, it's a lot closer to like the final table of a tournament, which is like probably the #1 reason why I like playing the mixed games so much more.
Right. And most of this crowd also predominantly plays mix usually, right? Even back then, it was much more common to see big mix than big hold'em.
Yeah. Yeah, and back then already, I mean, Barry and Doyle, of course. David was mostly limit hold'em, but a lot of other mixed games as well. And Patrik, while mostly no limit and PLO, was just starting like a bunch of mixed games himself too. So, half, 2/3 of this table were, big time mixed game players already.
Right. All right. Sammy's got position. He's got the 10-5 suited. There's no way he can fold that. So,
yeah.
Yeah, Doyle's going to call if hearts come out there. You're going to see one unhappy man from Longview, Texas.
They're gonna call. Let's chop it. I chop, Doyle. You chop.
I'll chop.
Doyle's just too
We
depressed
both chop.
from
You chop.
watching Sammy
Antonio,
win.
Mr. Magic will chop with his jack.
Enjoy the joke
Because he
right
knows
there.
that Doyle and Barry won't chop.
Deal, come on.
Oh my
Some of us are
God! He
stuck.
said,
Come on, deal.
okay, deal now.
Queen 8-10 on the flop.
Unbelievable.
And the chop man still has the best hand
Yeah.
and an inside straight draw.
Check.
And in Antonio's shoes, you're just hoping for Sammy to spaz off, even with an.
Exactly. It's just like the guy clearly wants to win every hand. Please just give me a situation where I can call him forever.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's perfect for Antonio. A card where someone is going to bluff a lot, and then we just have it.
And Antonio just calls. He thinks Sammy's probably bluffing. Antonio doesn't like the spade,
He must have made a flush. Okay, I check.
Jack.
and Sammy
Jack,
doesn't like
Jack?
the spade either.
What a surprise.
Jacks, I'll put you on that.
What a surprise.
You can tell from a line like that Doyle's just
I
like,
tried to
where's
find
my
one.
winning hand?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just certain in between hands, Doyle has not won one yet.
And the funny part is about Doyle, and I've watched these episodes dozens of times, he always has it. Like, Doyle is like printing money playing high-stakes poker. It's really, really hilarious to see.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Scott, what's the longest session you ever played, and what type of setting was it, and why couldn't you leave?
Ooh, okay. So these are some really big numbers.
Okay.
But, the longest session I ever played was, I think, like 60 hours straight, which is, yeah, I know, completely insane. And there was no real reason why I couldn't leave. I was just winning an ungodly amount and just felt like this was my time and I wasn't going to rock the boat. And I was playing with, this was, say, 8-9 years ago. So I was like 25. I was playing with, a few people in their mid-50s. And I just told myself the whole time, like, no matter how tired and miserable I feel, there's no way they can feel any better. There's just no way if you're in your 50s and I'm in my 20s that I can't do this. So I just told myself I was not going to leave before anyone else. And then they had a lot more stamina than I was expecting.
I mean, was this, did the game stay intact as it was, or did you end up playing heads up after 60 hours?
Exact as it was. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
It was like 3 or 4-handed for like 50 hours straight.
Wow. And were you guys playing mixed games or Hold'em?
We're playing mixed games.
Wow, that's crazy intense. And the beauty of mixed games is, let me tell you, that everyone thinks they have an edge in one of the games, so they'll never leave because, oh, my game's coming. My game's coming soon.
Yeah, exactly. It's beautiful. And they're right. It's true. That's like what makes it so good, because everyone does have their specialty and their thing that makes them great. It's like a huge draw to it.
Right. And if you suck at No Limit Hold'em like I do, it's also the best excuse. Just tell people you're a mixed game player, and they're like, oh, yeah, you're fine.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense now. It's like, okay. But you also can get the insult the other way, where, like, I'll play a Hold'em hand, and someone will be like, oh, I guess you play a lot of mixed games. Oh, my God, jeez. I mean, you're right, but...
I'm not sure.
Oh, man.
No.
The amount of multi-way pots in this game is also truly remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Jamie's going to play with the 6-4.
What helps with this so much that I've always said and thought for, like, creating a televised poker game is I think you really need a good mixture of top-level pros and really entertaining recreational players as well, because maybe some people like it, but I've never really enjoyed a game that's just all, say, like, the 1 through 8 best players in the world. You need, like, the dichotomy of styles to make for, like, interesting, great television. So in the same way that just watching, like, 8 recreational billionaires wouldn't be fun for me too, having the mix of both, I think, just creates such good dynamics that you can, like, really mine for gold like this.
Right. Greenstein takes a stab here with the A7 on Queen 9-3. Sammy, unfortunately for Barry, has top pair. So Scott, let me ask you then, like how do we still create those games? Because most recreational players are aware of their position in the game, and most of the pros are usually not even invited anymore to begin with.
Yeah, it's really complicated. I think the best way to do it is to pretty much ignore the paths of a lot of the private games that exist. There are like a ton of recreational players that like love to play, to be challenged for the sake of the game, and to push and test themselves, and to use players like that at like a correct ratio with interesting, entertaining pros is like the formula you need for stuff like this.
Right, and I also think it helps a lot when the pros and the recreational players are already well acquainted, so there's like some underlying sentiments there.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, this is funny. For the people in the chat who are wondering what the hell is going on, this is running back. Scott Seiver is joining me. We are watching an old episode from season 4 of High Stakes Poker, arguably one of the greatest hour of poker television ever created. Sammy Farha versus Jamie Gold for most of the show, and many more people trying to get a piece of the action. So if you enjoy the show, please like the video, and if you have any questions for Scott about his poker life, about anything else, please send them into the chat. People are, by the way, astounded by your stamina and playing in a session that long. People are literally falling over themselves to let us know about their longest game, and the longest I've seen so far is 35 hours, which is also surpassing my longest session. So you almost doubled that.
Yeah, like I said, that was a one-time like extra crazy moment, but in general, I've had a lot of very, very long sessions.
And are those mostly just during the summer where like no one has anything else going on? They're just like all focused on it?
Mostly, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just very hard to quit a game. And usually I'm bailed out by the fact that, a game ends and then I don't have another game to go to. But then over the summer, games can just go round the clock. And it's like, oh no, how do I have the discipline to ever actually get any sleep?
I once ran into Jason Mercer at the Bellagio during the WSOP. I think it was like, I don't know, 11 a.m. and he looked a little tired, and I was like, "Oh, you're just getting going to the game." He goes, "No, I'm going home." And I go, "Oh, you played all night?" He goes, "No, 2 nights." So
yeah. Jason is another great legend at long sessions.
It's just awesome to see. All right, here's Guy with the jacks.
Guess what the other one was?
The like smaller, seemingly less consequential hands have been like pretty wild. Like that last ace-7 hand was 4 limps, Barry raising huge with ace-7 off, and Sammy, cold calling with queen-10, and then getting in a ton of money with Sammy ahead. It's until Barry got there, but every hand is just great action.
Right, and I have a color-coded Excel document with all these hands, and green are like the best hands, but the orange hands on any other show would have been the best hand of that show.
Yeah, exactly. This episode's amazing.
12,000.
Well, we know Jamie's calling, and Sammy might call here too. 6s with an ace kicker.
Uh-oh. No,
it looks like Sammy's wonderful adventure has come to a close in this hand.
Oh, and then you just have the beauty of, every time you see Jamie and Sammy in a hand, you're like, oh, please do it again. It like gets you as the viewer so emotionally invested, hoping for like something incredible.
Right. You're like actively rooting for certain cards to like, don't complete the draw right now because they might go crazy.
Oh yeah. You just always root for pain.
Yeah.
Very possible that Jamie could have an 8. That's what Guy's thinking.
Mm-hmm. From seeing Guy play a bunch, he was more fearless and reckless when he didn't have it versus when he did have it. When he does have a big hand, he sort of like gets scared sometimes.
100%.
In this case, he makes it 75K because it's Jamie Gold.
Very risky move, but it's the right play at this particular time. Because
this street is absolutely insane from both parts here. I love it.
Right. There's so many reasons for Jamie to check behind. There's so many reasons for Guy to call. Like,
I don't think Jamie can call.
Instead, Guy just plays this absolutely genius level. Just pure above the rim.
All right. What are you gonna do? I mean,
Looks like Jamie's gonna call.
It's
Surprises
just-
me.
This one you got.
What are you gonna
He must be
do? I
putting
got
E
top
on
pair.
Ace, king,
Yeah,
ace,
yeah.
queen.
That's for the
It's
foundation.
not my fault.
Donate.
Jamie loves to act during the high stake poker episodes like he is not in control of his body. Like the cards coming away and he has no say in what his chips do. I love it.
I think you rivered me.
And that club scared both players.
Oh, but I have 2 jacks.
Oh, nice hand.
Jamie was
I
completely
thought you had an overpair.
baffled there.
What are ranges?
Jamie's got a lot of imagination.
Yeah. And then I just love I thought you had an overpair by Jamie at the end after he sees the chat.
First, when he shows his cards, he says, "I think you rivered me," which
Yeah.
doesn't apply to the overpair whatsoever.
What a race you
One of my favorite parts of high stakes poker in general is how good the camera work is. You will just get a zoom in on a player not in the hand, making the most outrageous face when they see cards turned up. And high stakes poker was the best at capturing those moments. Yeah, like the Doyle face right there. It's just like, what is going on?
If there was an option to have a Doyle and Barry cam, and every single time there was a showdown, they look at each other, they give each other these looks like,
oh my god, I would love the Doyle cam.
yeah. Or like, you know, the NFL sideline action, you have like mic'd up, just Doyle all night.
From here on in.
Just hopped on the.
So I'm going to assume you've played quite a bit with Doyle. Like, what is he like when there's no cameras? Is he still as snarky as he is on TV?
Oh, 1,000,000%. This is, I mean, if not more. I mean, everyone when they're on TV pulls back a little bit. Even the people that you think are the most out there are still pulling back a little bit. It's just kind of human nature when you're in front of a camera. No, Doyle is the most entertaining poker player to play with ever, which makes sense because when you're the best ever and have done it for as long as he has, being that entertaining just is part of the package.
Right. For almost all of us who are watching, and myself included, who've never played against Doyle, can you explain like how good he really is? Because he's been doing it for so many decades that it's easy to assume like, oh yeah, he got to that level at one point and now he's just sort of coasting. But you know, is he really that good?
He's fantastic, and that's ignoring the fact when you think about age. I mean, I'm 35 and I already feel like some of my like cognitive ability declining. I'm like, oh God, I'm getting up there in age. I can't think as fast as I can. Now add 50 more years to that. It's unbelievable to think about. When you hear him tell stories about the way he thought of poker 50 years ago and how he would try to, you know, calculate probabilities of things by dealing out cards in a deck and looking for patterns. I mean, the guy is a truly one of a kind savant.
Wow. That's
no way around it.
That's awesome to hear. Like that every single time I hear a story like that, it adds so much more allure to the already, you know, I don't know. You can't compare his career to anyone because there'll never be anything like that ever again. But it is so cool that he's still doing it at his age. And of course, you know, now with COVID, you know, live games have definitely been halted. But like up until last year, he was still mixing it up there with you guys.
Oh yeah, all the time.
All right, we got action here. We got a check from Jamie. We got Barry betting with fives on 7-9-8, and then Farha makes 28K with the queens. And
it's gonna be a tough call for Sammy.
There's Jamie with the call. Did he called right or did he raise? Let me see.
That looks like a call because I see the
Jamie,
25K tip and 3 yellows.
He's all in.
Oh, he put in the call and said all in. Nice.
140? That's all?
Well, he still owed him 170, so.
Yeah. This is, you know, he was just holding it for him.
Probably disappoint you, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
If I ever said that to a guy, only 140, that's all, it's not a happy active.
Having been there in that situation, it's so brutal to be at a table and just have, you know, one guy run over everyone and win every chip. And like, it's so much tougher when it's someone as unpredictable and aggressive as Sammy. It's just like, oh, am I supposed to start thinking he has it? That's when he shows you the 10-4 of hearts.
Right.
It's like,
But if you call, it's very close.
Can
It's
he do that?
between 1 and 150.
Max 150.
Sure, they can do it.
Yeah.
You can do anything on high stakes poker, but Sammy was committed to that. If Jamie said okay,
This reminds me of the famous line of Barry Greenstein when he was all in against Tom Dwan, and Dwan says, "You want to run it twice?" and Barry says, "No, I only do once." And then Barry says, "You want to take a couple hundred back?" and Dwan goes, "No, I'm good." Oh my
That's
god!
a great line. Was that the ace's hand?
Yeah, that was the ace's hand.
Oh, great line.
And they were a dead flip, like king queen suited against aces on the flop.
Yeah. No one was giving up anything, but
Doesn't
no.
matter what I have. I made a statement. I got my answer.
You have to punish people that say no to running it twice.
Right.
I'm already all in.
It's just a matter of honor at that point.
I have middle set. Middle set.
Oh my God.
I have middle set.
I would have flop.
Sammy tells Jamie I have middle set when Jamie's already all in.
I got my answer. That's all.
Look, I was holding that cash. Like,
Yeah.
Right? I feel stupid now, right? I'm the baby.
His
Barry is
little
the
grin there was so good.
oh my god.
and he's right.
Don't worry about it. Let's play poker.
He should never say he had
That's a
10-6.
good idea. Let's do
Let's
it.
play
Let's play
poker.
poker.
Yeah, let's
Doyle
play.
agrees.
Let's play the hand.
Or let's get some TV time in first.
Count it, please.
But Sammy did not hear Guy say he had 10-6. Because if Sammy calls,
60,
it's going to make a
70,
big
80,
difference
100. Doyle is
in what
right
kind of
on
deal they
140.
make.
140?
But I don't believe Sammy heard Guy say that.
142.5.
But nobody else but Barry cared.
To me, it almost feels as though Sammy is taunting Jamie by taking this long.
Oh, not almost. 100% that is what's going on.
Jamie has a straight or a set.
I respect it. I don't think it's like a bad thing or whatever. Just like, some people, it's in your nature and that's okay. It's definitely been in my nature at times. Like, respect.
No?
You don't want to give me a break?
Sammy's just playing with his food.
Unreal. Let's listen in.
Hold it. Hold it. No, I got you beat.
We're 50-50, Sammy.
50-50. You're
Whatever
wrong.
What do you have?
I had you beat.
What do you have?
You always have a draw against me, buddy.
I have a pair and a draw.
Okay, you gotta make straight or two pair to win.
You have an 8?
Two jacks.
I had you beat.
You have an 8. Where's that coming from?
Okay. Well, what do you have? Show me.
I'm gonna run it
I don't
twice.
wanna, I'm so superstitious.
Oh,
Let's
all right,
deal
all
it
right.
twice.
We'll run it twice, but I'd like to know what I'm dealing against. You
I have an overpair.
You have
guess
an
it.
overpair, okay.
It's not gonna affect your hand. No, I wish I have two jacks. I have a blockers.
You got two queens. Let's
Okay,
go.
I realize.
So good.
I need a 6, a
It's not
jack,
flipping in a
7,
coin, Doyle. No, I'm favored. It's not flipping a
You're
coin.
not a favorite.
You're not a favorite,
Okay,
Sammy.
I don't know. You know. You're
Sammy's
math
right.
pretty good, buddy.
Doyle and
You know
Jamie
your
are
math
wrong.
pretty good, both
They've
of us.
decided to run it twice.
2 of my outs.
Doyle, who's like barely even paying attention, one would think, just instantly goes, "Of course you have queens. Let's get on with it."
Yeah, exactly. Let's move on, guys. Come on.
It doesn't matter. Put it back in the deck. He's not favored, unless he gets lucky.
Put it back into deck.
He's not favored unless he gets lucky.
Sammy takes the first
One
round.
for Sammy. Looks like I'm going home early.
All right.
All right, send me home. I say goodbye.
I don't think Jamie really wants to go home.
And he gets his jack.
Booyah! All right.
And everyone at the table rejoices with Jamie staying.
And honestly, so do all of us, just because now this gives us the chance for more Sammy Jamie hands.
That's true. That's very true.
Like, just as a fan, you want to see these two just keep colliding.
Exactly.
No, he's never.
And I'm loving this Barry shirt, by the way.
Oh.
I feel like no one's talking about this. This shirt is just incredible.
If someone can find me that shirt on Amazon, send me a link and I'll buy that shirt. I'll wear it on the next episode.
It's so good.
Every hand I play, I get so lucky in this game.
Did Sammy also just wear suits in general, casually around the casino, or was that like for TV?
I can't remember. It's been so long. I think he did like a decent amount of the time.
Yeah, lots of people asking in the chat, does Sammy still play? Do you know if he still plays poker?
I honestly don't really know. I haven't seen him in a few years.
Well, Sammy, if you're watching,
Or I've seen him here and there, I should say.
right. But if you're watching, Sammy, just come on the show. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear your story.
Just remember Jamie going through that ordeal.
Pretty insane.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Doyle's finally
If
getting
three
involved.
spades come out there, we might see another ordeal here
Small pair. Either pocket
between Sammy and Jamie.
Yeah.
And you know, I was putt committed.
Still his place sick.
And I know.
8, 4, 7 on the flop.
How many times that?
Oh,
been
it's
out there
so-
today? Anybody noticed? No, I thought that was a 9, 7, 4.
Man, just
Barry
poor
Greenstein
Jamie
has
Gold.
flopped a set.
Let's see.
Jamie's going to bet here. He's got a
He's
double
actually
belly bust.
so unlucky here.
He is, for sure.
Make a straight with a 5 or a 9. And Mr. Set of Fours, Barry Greenstein.
Raised to 13,000.
Straight.
Jamie's going to call and say, give me my 5, or I'll take a 9 also.
There's his 5.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Barry does not like a 5. I expect Jamie to bet about 25,000 here.
So, interesting observation here. Jamie is chatting all the way to like the end of the hand whenever he, doesn't have it. And then now he makes it and he shuts up immediately.
He makes it, shuts up immediately, and checks back the turn.
Now he bets
He
30,000.
raised the 4 straight board with top pair, and then checks back the
I'll let you
straight.
get there, right? I knew it. I knew it. Ah.
He was not going to fall anyways.
Yeah, you just saved
You
money.
weren't
son.
folding?
No, how can I save? I got to fold. I'm not folding. You saved money, Jamie.
All right.
You save money, I guess. He's not letting me go.
I knew you had it. I thought you had just had a full house. I didn't think you had quads. How much are you?
30.
Okay. Nice hand.
As if it makes any difference.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Also, what a savvy check by Barry on the turn. Just to talk poker for 1 second. I really love the check here. Like, normally I would say that's always a hand you bet. But you're up against Jamie, a scare card came, and you might think this guy is just ready to blast off with whatever he has here. Like, I think it's a great check.
Right.
And it works doubly well because it turns out the only time he doesn't bet is when he has you beat.
That is very true. And, when Gabe says, oh, it's a scare card for Barry, you're seeing it more as an opportunity for Jamie from Barry's perspective.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Not that you're happy to see the card, but you kind of might be a little happy because you probably get a lot more money than you would on like a random card.
Right.
You heard this hand, Patrick?
But I think that's just like a really smart, good check by Barry.
6-3 all clubs.
So back when you were watching this, when this was first airing, were you, purely, getting the popcorn out, or were you also trying to pick up on stuff? Because these guys, in some cases, like a Patrick, for instance, or, Barry in this case, were, doing clever things.
Oh, 1,000,000%. There's so much cleverness going on in these episodes. But me at the time, I was 100% popcorn. I was just like, oh, give me all the like good juicy hands. I wasn't thinking strategy at all. It was pure entertainment value for me.
So when you played on televised games and on the big game and super high roller cash game, were you showing up with extra money to fire to make it entertaining? Were you playing extra loose for the cameras? Like, how does that work?
Okay, so for the big game, I basically told myself that I'm going to play every hand no matter what. I want to make a statement for televised poker. I came in locked and loaded, ready to go. It went really well, but I remember seeing stats they released afterwards. I played something like 55% of hands at a 6-handed table over, like 600 hands or whatever over the 2 sessions. I played just every hand, like 9-4 suited, cold 4 betting type stuff. Just, I decided that I was going to get in there and like make a statement. And that was a lot of fun. For the super high roller cash game, I played pretty much normally because that was like a very tough lineup with a lot of players we'd played a lot of times. And it kind of forces a different style of play.
Right. And, people in the chat, they're reminding me of seeing you on those games, and people, loved you in all the action. But one of the hands that, you're most famous for was the hand against Tobias Rankemeyer at the $1 million one-drop final table. That hand came up because I watched that final table with Dan Coleman when he was on this show. How often are you reminded of that moment?
Oh, I mean, people bring it up to me all the time, but honestly, it's not really a hand I think about too much because so much of it was just like luck. I guess you create your own luck in a lot of ways, but so much of a hand like that was just Tobias making an incorrect read at a big moment, and I happened to like profit from it. Like,
Right.
I am proud of my chatting in that hand, I'm proud of creating a situation that would let Toby think he can trust what he's thinking. But it's not like a hand where I would ever point out and be like, wow, look at this great hand I played.
Right.
It's just like, it doesn't do it for me in that way. Although from an entertainment value, it's like a very, very entertaining hand.
Yeah, Dan. I think Dan said on the show, like, he said on the show, I think Scott was actually mad at Toby for folding. Because
I mean, that's the thing that comes up a lot that people say. It's not really that I was mad. I mean, honestly, a lot of it was just like being really brutal and going for the dagger in the last moment, like letting him think for 1 second that he had me beat before showing the bluff. I mean, we're playing $1 million final table. You just have to, be kind of ruthless.
Exactly, and I appreciate that. Oh, there is the set for Sammy and
the straight flush for Benjamin.
Right, AJ.
There's only 20K in the pot. Let's see what happens.
Starts out with 10,000. Doyle's got the king-high flush draw here. Don't see the big papa playing this. He might have if he had the ace-high flush draw. But now it's back to Mr. Sammy. And Sammy's going to just find out what's happening in this hand.
Hey, Sammy raises to 40,000.
David's look there.
That was such a Kodak moment.
Just the deuce. You decide to just go crazy. Check
blank
the flop,
card.
and it just comes a deuce.
Just a blank
You
card.
said, I see. You made a straight with the deuce, right?
I'm not forgot.
I cannot
look
tell you
at the
how
cards
great
twice.
what David
I look one time
Benjamin
only.
is doing now is.
This is one.
He's
this
not
is-
only convinced Sammy, but he's convinced everybody at the table
Seriously? You got a
that
hand?
Sammy probably has the best hand.
Yeah. You have 4-5?
This is Jean-Paul Belmondo in Les Miserables. This deserves
why
a
I
French
raised it.
Academy Award.
I raised you for a reason. Don't worry. I'm not looking at my cards. I'm looking at yours.
Just to interrupt for 1 second.
Yes.
I gotta say, one thing I don't like about David's speech play here is that I don't like it specifically with the straight flush. Because, yes, you might induce more action from Farha, but now when you call and raise the river, or if you raise here, it's just like, wait, you gave me this whole speech about how, oh, you hit this, but you're raising.
Right.
So I feel it's going to be tougher to get the massive bazooka raise in at the end when you set up this whole thing of, I guess I'm calling you because I think you're weak.
It's so funny you say that, because as David is talking, I was about to pause it and say, explain to me the art of table talk in a moment where you have the nuts, because I feel as though there's no winning in that moment for him.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll probably still work. Honestly, I don't remember this hand. I don't remember the results, but I just really don't like the setup of the speech play, specifically with 4 or 5 of clubs here.
Right.
Because that's a hand you're going to have to raise at some point, obviously, to get everything in. So it's just a lot trickier.
How well does David Benjamin know Sammy Farha for him to give the speech and then raise the turn with the third club out there, knowing that that club could very well kill his action against most players in the universe?
I think, honestly, at this point, he's just kind of hoping that Sammy has a flush. So that's why he says, oh, you hit the straight, to try and subtly say in Sammy's mind, oh, this guy thinks I have a straight, but actually I have way better. And I think that's what Benjamin is attempting here, if I had to guess.
Let's see how much David bets. David probably
the bricks just get me every time.
It's so good.
has something like the jack high flush.
This is the problem where, in theory, I would love if Benjamin just bet 400,000 here, and I think they are super deep if I remember. But he bets 250 here, but just bet all of it. Just bet 500,000, and then that's a kind of harder story to tell when you give the whole "oh, I thought you were weak" speech.
Right.
And look how instantly Sammy folds the river here. Not that I'm saying it's the speech, and you got 70,000 more, but I think with a different attitude and a different way of talking, you can just call his raise on the turn and then raise him big on the river. And then you're telling a different story about why you're raising.
Right. So as far as your own your own talking in the game. Do you pick and choose? Or are you just always talking to stay consistent? Like, do you ever make the straight flush and be like, oh my God, should I just be quiet now? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I just kind of do everything. Everything has ebbs and flows to it. It's pretty dangerous for most people, obviously, because, any information you give technically can really only hurt you. Like, it can't help you. But I don't know. I feel I've done so well over the years having a really good sense of self and just having a high enough level of empathy to know what other players at the table are thinking and feeling at a time, and then like subtly playing off those emotional resonances is just something I've really always done well. So there's no like set plan I have for anything. It's just like what feels right in the moment based on, the person, if they like had an upsetting phone call an hour ago, if they lost the last pot. There's just like 10 million things you think about to then decide if or how you're going to interact on these things.
But if you were to advise everyone watching right now, I'm guessing the advice will usually be just shut up in general.
Oh yeah. I would say it's like, maybe 1 out of 10 people shouldn't shut up, but like probably like 9 of 10 should.
Right. I think that's the best advice I've ever gotten, because you talk yourself into a corner so easily, and you play against people that, can or maybe should pick up on stuff. So that is always a tricky one. By the way, someone in the chat says, nice beer selection, Scott. Founder's Kiss. He loves that beer.
Oh, yeah. It's great. I love it. It's somewhat hard to get here. So when the local liquor store had it recently, I just like stocked up and got a bunch.
That's awesome. Yeah, for the people in the chat, if you have any questions, please keep them coming. We are watching Season 4 of High Stakes Poker. If you don't already know, PokerGO has every single season, and we're trying to bring High Stakes Poker back. It's going to happen this year, from what I've heard. Season 8 is coming. I think there's a decent chance Scott Seiver will be in the mix, so I'm curious to see what that lineup will be like. If people have any suggestions for a lineup, please also send that in, because I'm curious to hear any names and suggestions. What I really want, Scott, is first of all, if it's possible, a rematch between Jamie and Sammy, but it seems unlikely at this point. But what I also really want is Tom Dwan and Zygmunt back in action.
Oh God, of course. Two of the most entertaining players ever. Zygmunt is just clearly the #1 most like entertaining person in all of poker, in the history of poker. It's just you can't beat the guy for entertainment.
Right, that's definitely true. Have you played live with Tom and Zygmunt a lot?
I've played a good amount live with Tom before. I've actually never played live with Zygmunt, sadly.
Wow.
It's like really, really sad, because I would love to.
I feel as though that would create some epic moments. Like, he's also someone who won't leave for 60 hours.
Yeah. I have massive amounts of respect for him.
Yeah, and at some point, the sickness just gets to a level where only a certain amount of people are able to handle it, and he's definitely in that tier.
He's #1. No one should try to go toe-to-toe with him on sickness.
Exactly. All right, we got some hands brewing here. If you watch High Stakes Poker, these are 3 monster hands. Jack 8, 10, 9, and Ace 10 suited.
Yeah, this is as good as it gets, especially based on who has each one. Each of them has a premium for who they are.
Yeah, that is actually very well put.
Keep on playing bad.
Oh my God, Jamie Goldman, monster!
Love to see it.
Keeping on too.
Wow. If you could assign hole cards, this would probably be close to it.
I would love if Barry had like pocket deuces here also, to just get the last combo possible here.
Right. And for Antonio to enter the pot, he needs like 10s at the minimum in a hand like this.
5-8 on the flop.
Ooh, wow.
Normally, you would think this is such a sad flop that you can never get big action on this flop. Ace 8-5 rainbow, one of the driest flops there is. Instead, we have the wheel draw, the open ender, the middle pair, the top pair for the 4 hands.
Right. It's just a shame that there's not one spade.
Yes.
And Jamie said, I'm not going to bet a hand that
If the
big.
5 of hearts was the 5 of spades, we would be golden.
The only possible draw out there is the hand he has, 6-7.
Jamie raises the 4.
The minimum raise.
You ever gonna make a pair draw? How much you playing?
So little that it doesn't even matter. 25.
And I think a player who's as smart and as savvy as David Benjamin knows exactly what Jamie has right here.
75.
75 more?
I might have to fold if you put me all in.
Flop the set?
Maybe I'm bluffing.
I could be wrong, but I don't think David Benjamin is worried about his set at all.
Well, I don't think he's bluffing anymore, but I don't know how I can pass that. So how much you have? 40. And then
Don't put me all in. I don't want to go home right now.
Well,
The
now
level of honesty, I feel like we're watching a therapy session for Jamie.
I want to stay 10 more.
The first hand broke him down, and now he's just a man that needs to express his truths.
Right.
Please don't put me all in.
There you go, like ace king.
He's just looking for sympathy at a poker table. It's not the right place to look.
No. And you can only buy a friendship for as long as you have chips.
Yeah.
Let's run it.
Well, here we go.
Well, you got to say.
By the way, back in the day, raising draws for stacks was so popular.
Oh, yeah.
I had ace 10 only.
Ace 10, yeah.
So how many times you want it? You just decide. I'm your slave.
Sick. Oh, ace 10. Yeah, ace. I tried to even say the ace for a minute.
Run it twice.
Twice?
Good luck, boys.
They're going to run it twice. If Jamie loses both times, I think he's going to quit.
Yeah.
Jamie always gets the first one.
Got the first one.
Bad choice, Jamie.
See if I can do one
You
more
don't
time.
want another Niners.
I've been there before. That moment where you run it twice and you win the first, and you just like have relief wash over your body. It's a powerful feeling. You're just like, oh my god, okay.
Are you a run it twice kind of guy, or are you like sort of let it up to the opposition to decide?
I always let it up to the opposition, but I kind of enjoy running it twice. Honestly, it's just more fun. There's more sweats.
More cards, more sweats.
Yeah.
Notra, biggest Pappas says it's going to be a job.
The funny part about seeing Benjamin stand up, and for the real high-stakes poker fanatics, they'll remember this moment. The moment where Benjamin is all in against Guy Laliberte for probably one of the biggest pots they ever played, and Benjamin literally turns yellow, like standing up there, just because to Guy, it's like not even the value of his watch that he's wearing.
Yeah.
Like Guy is so rich that he could buy the casino on his way out the door. And for Benjamin, it's probably case money. Like it's. That's what Daniel told me when I first did this. We watched season 1 of High Stakes Poker, and Daniel was saying that so many people just wanted to play that they sat down with like a large majority of their net worth just to play on TV. So they had like one bullet, and that was it.
Oh yeah.
Which is just makes it even crazier to think about.
I think he'd rather stick around here.
Oh, it's already in?
By the way, Patrik Antonius is yet to play a hand.
Yeah. It's sad.
Patrik Antonius missed all 3 blinds.
So it's in the middle.
Oh, he changed his shirt.
More buttons on his shirt unbuttoned than hands that he's played.
Wow. And that chest is way too smooth. Speaking for Scott and myself, we could never achieve such smoothness.
No.
He's got a nice stack.
I raise.
I've heard good things about your stack, too.
I'm not a good stacker.
Oh my God.
I know you're
Love
trying to
it.
be
Love it, actually. Honestly, this is a lot better than the calls he makes with bad hands.
Right. Wow.
This just like isn't really that bad of a play.
Okay, explain that.
Just like raising is never that big a deal, especially when there's like a lot of people that have shown a lot of weakness, and like your hand's garbage anyways. So like if you get re-raised, it's no big deal to fold. Like just raising things usually can go well.
Right. Does that play in line with, I think, didn't you say once, like, you're never that far behind?
Yeah. Exactly. Things just can't ever go that poorly.
Right.
Wow, now you pick up this huge flush draw here.
And Jamie shows no aggression after putting in that money before the flop. I think, you know.
Jamie says, I got nothing.
I check.
David didn't see Jamie's gesture.
This is brutal.
I don't know.
Jamie already accidentally checked out of position, but Benjamin didn't.
Jamie
see.
was sure he was beat.
Not a lot of hands I can beat.
Unreal.
I hate giving up the pot.
And David was focused in on trying to make a straight.
Just in case.
Perfect honesty.
25.
Just in case.
Here, that's 25,000.
This is one of the one you didn't need to
And David gives up immediately.
Oh, you did.
Oh my God. I mean, for as on point as Jamie was during the 06 main event with all his talking, he seems to be like a different person on this broadcast. Like someone zapped away all that confidence.
I think it's just because of how painful losing the first pot was to him.
Do you get like that when you get stuck? Do you get, sort of...
Oh yeah, I do a lot, but I'm like hyper emotional, where I feel most of the best poker players in the world are really good at segregating their emotional feel to how they're doing. I feel every win and loss very strongly.
So how in the world are you still doing this after all these years?
That's a good question. I have no idea. But I don't know. I view a lot of it as a strength in other ways too, because, like I said earlier, I'm just more empathetic and feel I have a better concept of like the emotional highs and lows that everyone else is going through, and it affects everyone's play. And if I can pick up on it a little bit, I think that helps me a lot.
So does this also mean that when you have a big winning session, you're out celebrating, and when you lose, you're locked in your bedroom for a few days?
It used to be like that. As the years have gone by, the time has gotten less for each. Now it'll be like, celebrating a few hours or locking myself away for a few hours, but kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Because it's so cool, because most people that I talk to, they're like, I'm completely dead inside. Like nothing will ever hurt me ever again.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. Not me. I feel it all maximally still.
Oh my God. I can't wait for the Scott Seiver book to come out to hear all these stories.
What do you think?
Guy's got a foot out the door, and I gotta say,
wow,
yeah.
I can't miss that family.
Yeah, I can't miss this. It might be my last hand.
Unreal.
I'm surprised. But again,
if anyone thinks this game wasn't good for how people played in their home games, then they're wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, and Jamie has been trying to leave ever since the first hand. Like,
yes.
Let me go broke on the last hand.
Ace Jack 4 on the flop.
Well, he has flopped a pair of jacks, but he's surrounded by aces. Aces to the right of him. Aces
because I'm not in them, but I think a dream for the comeback of high stakes poker would be to get an exact recreation of some of these tables. If you could get like the exact 7 or 8 people to come back for like the 10-year later, 15-year later reunion game, like that could be amazing.
Absolutely. And then to think that this is season 4, Tom Dwan did not start until season 5, and he became iconic because of high stakes poker and how him and Barry clashed and all that stuff that happened. So the list is fairly long of people that qualified to be on such an anniversary type episode.
Oh yeah.
While we try to figure out who can win the most money with this ace off Jamie Gold. Oh, he does fold. If you were in the lineup playing Hold'em, whatever the stakes are, who would you want to be at the table to make it both entertaining and also exciting?
I don't know. Honestly, so much of it changes just like session to session based on like the moods people are in. But like I think in general, Doyle's just like one of the most entertaining people to play with, and just like he adds such a gravitas to a table that like getting to play with him in any level is just like so fun and enjoyable. And like he talks, he gets in there, he adds a grounding influence, but also like isn't quiet. It's a really great addition, I feel.
A great addition as well to this pot is what Laliberte is doing right now.
He is trying to make Doyle throw away ace, queen, ace, king.
Unreal.
And Doyle doesn't look like he's in any mood to throw it away.
No.
I mean, I would be putting Guy on
I
a big
actually
hand
think
here.
Doyle would fold pretty much everything if he didn't pick up diamonds here. It's honestly kind of unlucky for Guy.
Right.
For 30,500 more.
Man.
30,000. He said call.
Wow.
30.
Man, and we're now looking at the biggest pot in the history of high stakes poker.
And the whole table is going to be shocked when they see the hands that these two guys have.
What do you got?
Ace 10 and a flush.
Oh, with the diamonds. He's got outs.
He's got outs.
Outs.
You want to show your hand? You want to see mine? Okay, do whatever you
Hold on.
want.
You can deal once or twice. That's why he's asking.
No, he doesn't run it. He doesn't run it twice. Oh, whoa.
Oh, whoa.
Doesn't matter.
Huh.
You say. Huh? You say.
You can run it more than once, so you're allowed to
Oh, you're
decide.
just not going to run it once. It's up to you. No, it's up to you. Believe me, I'm not going to decide that.
You have the advantage. You have the advantage there.
The biggest hand in the history of high-stakes poker. Most money in the center of
So I should run it twice, right?
the table on two very mediocre hands.
And they're gonna run it.
That is the smile of a man who has 75% equity with 900K in the middle.
By the way, great freeze frame here. Very well done.
Twice.
What a call, Doyle.
Oh, what? I've been lied to my whole life. Sammy Farha is wearing jeans? Come on.
Oh, wow.
This is the biggest revelation of high-stakes poker.
Buddy, I've sat here all day and hadn't made a pair.
3 or 5. You catch.
You got to hand it to Doyle making that call. He did have the nut flush draw, but it was a hell of a call. And it was a hell of a play by Guy.
Yeah.
4 also.
4 you'd split it.
There's a queen.
One more.
1 for Doyle. Guy needs a 3 or 5 that's not a diamond.
Give us a face card.
Well, a 3 would be perfect. Oh.
10 will do it.
I won one.
I won.
That's some real genuine happiness right there from Doyle.
When you don't make a pair for 8 hours, you go crazy.
That didn't look like the best hand when he raised.
I mean, I will happily sit down at a poker table for 8 hours a day and make a pair once and get it in like this.
Yes, it's like the dream, actually.
Unreal. So good.
Oh, and the stacks of cash, it's just so nice.
It's like a boat or a train of cash. This is ridiculous. This is just unbelievable.
He's so happy. He just can't contain his glee. He's like a child on Christmas.
Unbelievable. This cash is... I mean, Phil Ivey said it best. The cash just looks so sweet.
It does. It really does.
I mean, when you're shuffling with a stack of 25K chips, you cover most of these people, but it's nothing like this.
No, it really is a different feel, the stacks of cash.
Let's play a pot. Let's play a
Look
big
at your
pot.
cards, though.
I'm not looking. Let's play a big pot.
And Jamie is still trying to leave.
Yeah.
Like, you said it really well. He's just trying to give his money away for some sympathy. Like, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, he just wants, some people to like reach out to him and be like, "Oh, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry."
What a game.
I did not.
Get out, Patrick.
Patrick is not here to play
Oh,
poker.
wait.
I mean, neither is Antonio, which
Yeah.
is great though because it like makes all the other hands more exciting because it's effectively a shorter-handed game.
It is. Like, that is a great point. They're playing like four-handed, and the fourth person is like taking turns.
Yeah, exactly. It's tag team on the fourth person, which is great. It's like actually kind of perfect for an entertaining poker game to
Yeah.
watch.
I'm looking now. What do you want to do? It's up to you, buddy.
I check.
Sammy's antics are just
All right, now I'm
so
looking at the other one.
amazing as long as you
Okay.
keep not doing them to you.
Oh my God.
500.
Ugh.
Good. Okay, I haven't looked yet, buddy. 3-5. That's enough.
The way Sammy Farha calls someone buddy is just...
Oh, it's so devastating.
All right.
Oh my God. Let us know.
So many people with such mean grins on their faces around this table.
But Jamie is also standing as if he's already lost all his chips. Like, he still has like 200K in front of him.
Yeah.
Or at least 150.
He's mentally defeated, it seems.
Right. For the people who are watching this, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the chat if you want to see cash back in play during High Stakes Poker Season 8, or if you might prefer the big chips, 100K chips. They look kind of cool. I'm not sure what you guys prefer. Let us know.
He's had more farewell tours than Ozzy Osbourne at this
Really
point.
my last hand. It has to be. I'm gonna.
Well,
miss
now
my
he's putting the
play.
big
This is
blind
no
up.
good though. You can't pull out hundreds from your stack to pay your big blind for sympathy when you have like 200,000 in front of you and also a bunch of chips. He's breaking down 10K stacks to toss in hundreds for the big blind.
Unreal.
First sympathy move. You can't do that one.
There's literally a single $100 bill on the table right now.
Yeah, exactly. He's like paying his small blind away.
I guess he's going to some event at the Playboy Mansion.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
My last hand.
Or maybe he's going to an Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, that could be too.
Or maybe an event at the Bunny Ranch.
Whoa, I didn't think of that.
Always a question. How much? 36 total.
Sounds like you've been there, AJ.
No, I've seen some documentaries on it, that's all.
Call. Go ahead. Run it.
He reaches into his pocket, into his wallet.
That's 12, right?
He's using his
looks
wallet
it's
to
gonna be
call.
between Jamie and David Benjamin.
Is this the first ever wallet call that we've seen?
On high stakes poker, it's gotta be.
I mean,
I've seen wallet calls before, but not when people have hundreds of thousands on the table.
oh my God. If anyone is running a poker website that has a dictionary on it, the wallet call should be on there referring to this point.
Oh, yeah.
2,000.
What is happening?
Also, why does he have like 5,000 and hundreds in his pocket when he has like 200,000 on the table?
Or
like,
just
why is that money in his wallet in the first place?
like give Doyle a brick of cash and get some chips.
See if Jamie fires another bullet here.
Amazing.
Be a tough call for David.
I love watching Jamie Gold. Like, it's,
oh, yeah.
$5.
How much would I call?
Yeah.
Not much.
That's 10 grand, Jamie.
That's about what I would call, not more.
Oh!
I got the nuts. I mean,
For real?
yeah.
Deuce.
That's the nuts. Nice hand. Okay, I'm out.
Unreal.
I feel like I have the nuts.
The fact that this was even filmed, like the fact that we were allowed to see this all happen is just mind-blowing.
Not out the door yet. Let's see.
I love he does the tournament thing as well, going around shaking everyone's hand at the table.
Oh my God.
So beautiful.
That got all the cash in the pot.
And Jamie really has left the building.
It is official. The best bluffer is gone.
I got away?
Sorry, boss.
All right. Well, Jamie's gone, but the action is not gone. Let me tell you that.
Smooth talk, man.
Unreal.
Sammy's like, now it's my time to shine.
What do you know? You don't think I knew I had the best hand, Doyle?
I
It's
don't
common
know.
sense. Oh, yeah. I was
You
scared.
sleeping with the guy or what?
Antonius.
Here we
Waited 4
go.
hours for this.
Here we go.
And Sammy and Doyle are talking about the aces and kings hand with Jamie Gold.
I said a 10. He had a 10 on the board.
Surely if it had a 10, he'd have bet it all.
Yeah.
No,
What?
no, listen.
He would have bet himself if it had a 10.
And Pat
This is my favorite hand in high-stakes poker history.
has decided to make it 16,000 with a Jack 9 of hearts. Very interesting. He's got a position on Sammy.
What did you say?
This episode really did have it all.
Everything.
Patrick flops top pair, and Sammy's got the king high flush draw.
Scott, you've been in a spot like this thousands of times. Top pair against the flush draw. It has probably never played out like
Sammy's
this.
check.
No, definitely never.
20,000.
And we have a raise coming here.
Oh my
Sammy's
God.
going to raise to 100,000.
Big raise.
The fact that Antonius has been so tight, does that make Sammy want to play him even more? Like, you know?
I think yes. I think he really wants to break the guy that's been tight and waiting the whole time.
I'm all in.
Patrick has gone all in with a pair of nines. Sammy.
That's
Whoa. Patrick went all in.
Giant exhale.
480
That was the fastest call of the whole session.
Yeah.
immediately.
Let's listen to these guys negotiate.
Do you have a set?
I don't have a, you have a set?
No.
You don't have a set? You're flushing?
Very often they
No,
go,
you
"Do have a
flushing?"
set?" And they end up asking if they have a pair.
This is the
You got a pair?
this is the biggest
At the
pot in
end,
the
they
history of
ask
high
each other if
stakes
they have a
poker.
pair.
He's
Right.
having a nervous breakdown right now.
Oh my God.
He has a 3 and a flush draw.
I just want to see this facial expression again.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
I call.
Patrick has gone all in with a pair of nines. Sammy called.
That's the moment where you're like,
Patrick went
what
all
did
in.
I just do?
Yeah, exactly.
$1,000, and Sammy called immediately.
You have a big hand? Do you have a set?
I don't have a, you have a set?
No.
You don't have a set? You're flushing?
Very often.
Oh, now he's so hopeful.
Oh yeah, exactly.
He's like breathing again. It's nervous laughter. Like, oh my God, I'm not drawing dead.
I have
Yeah,
mine.
bigger than the one you guys just had.
This is incredible.
He has a 3 and a flush draw.
You have a D-
Ace 3 a diamond. Come on. Let's see.
No, he doesn't have flush. What do you have?
What can you have?
2 over.
Actually, as we see, Sammy's a little bit of a favorite here.
Uh-huh.
Ace king flush?
You tell me first. I'll tell you second.
It's gonna be diamonds if there's 2 overcards. Okay, we're gonna do business. We're gonna run it
Oh, we
twice.
always do business, man. Yeah. We might chop it if we look. We don't have to look. Just tell me what you have. I'll tell you what I have.
I suggest you guys open the cards.
Huh?
2 times.
Both players are a little superstitious, and they don't want to turn over their hand first.
We probably can do that, but what do we have?
Yes,
I have a weak hand.
You went all in. I have a weaker hand than you.
No.
But you're my customer. I gotta play with you.
You don't call me with 1 second.
You got an ace high, Patrick. That's good.
How do you know?
He doesn't have ace high. He's got a pair of 3s and a flush draw, and he's got
He
2
said no
over and a
flush.
draw.
He didn't have a flush.
Yes, he has.
So Scott, just explain to the people at home, why aren't they just showing their cards right now?
Honestly, that's a great question. I don't really know. I know that Sammy's very superstitious about never showing his cards first, and kind of a lot of people are. It's odd to me. I've always actually just really enjoyed just whipping my cards over and being like, okay, let's do this already. You know, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. The slow squeeze like this is, you know, it's very painful. You don't want to do it to yourself.
You crazy all in? What do you think? We're kids here?
You think we're kids here?
You're not playing solitaire, fellas.
Buddy, me and Patrick will play every day like this.
4 times.
Fine. What do you have, though?
It's your showdown. Who's
You
showing
have a
first?
pair at least?
I have a pair. I have a top pair.
You show first.
Bring us one more Patrick here.
The top pair.
The
Half a
top
million on
pair.
top pair.
Come
What
on,
do
turn
you
your
have?
hand over.
I got aces, Doyle. What do you know? I can't tell you what I have.
Oh, he has
Okay.
Jack 10 of diamond or
Okay.
Jack Queen of diamond.
I got 2 over and a flush.
Okay, so it's a flip.
4 times?
What's your over?
Can't tell you. Surprise you, though.
No, no, no.
2
I'm
face
gonna surprise you.
No, no, no.
It's at 10 seconds.
Who cares? This
Okay.
is our money. Not. I mean, we're
Okay.
running a show. We're
Okay,
paying for it.
let's run it 4 times.
Am I
They're going
right? I
to
mean,
run it
this is
4
ridiculous.
times.
We've
4
never seen
times.
that before either.
Yeah.
Why don't they just run the rest of the deck? Run it 15 times.
Okay, that's
Wow.
Oh, man.
Sammy catches a diamond.
And they still haven't shown their cards.
Yeah, yeah.
And Patrick
So
catches a 9. Who's dead to a 9.
$250,000 9.
Patrick wins the first $250,000.
It's really fair enough, buddy.
And Sammy catches another
That
diamond.
happens. It's- I
And
don't know, that's
Patrick
me
can't
taking
draw
them
out
out.
on that time.
One apiece.
Second
I just-
round to
my pair
Sammy.
is still good if I
It's
hit
like
it.
a 4-round fight. I get
Yeah.
the feeling it's going to be split at the end. Don't you get that feeling?
Yeah, well, yeah. After all this,
Sammy still hasn't got
That's
a
you,
queen
buddy.
or a king
Definitely
yet.
it's not me.
No diamond, no queen or king.
There's so much paint left in the deck.
Yeah. Rich with pain.
That's you, of course.
2 for Patrick.
I like Patrick's
more to
chances
go.
here.
Of course. I always like Patrick.
1 more to go, right?
Just amazing. I'm telling you. Just amazing.
Sammy
I mean,
needs the
that's
king,
not
the queen, or the
respectable.
diamond here.
4.
Wow,
One
where's the
more
paint?
card for a split.
Oh, man.
No.
Look at the.
Dry, paintless deck right there.
If this was a blackjack table, all the money would be coming in right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, goes to
Max
Patrick.
bets 6
Patrick
ways.
winds up
Exactly.
winning 3/4 of everything.
He doesn't want to show his jack. He shows just the 9.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and they tell him turn it
That was
off.
almost a dead even heat, boys, if y'all didn't know it.
Can you make 4 stacks with that?
That's very close. That
4
hand.
stacks with that.
As they say in the hood, Daniel Negreanu is in the
Oh
hands
my
out.
gosh.
It's so good.
I missed.
Imagine being Daniel Negreanu and for the last 6 hours sitting in the green room watching this complete shit show going on.
Just dying. You have to be dying in there.
He's like, can I sit on someone's lap to play? What's it?
Yeah. The swagger he walks in with lets you know how much he wants that hand right there.
Unreal.
I love Sammy. I know him pretty well nowadays because I played a lot with him, partly in Omaha, and he loves to talk and he loves to do business, and we'll see. It's he's good for the game, good for the TV.
Well, it sounds like we can expect some interesting
Oh my
I
god.
love Sammy. What a great line.
My jaws are hurting from laughing for the last hour and a half.
Oh, yeah. It's just, there's a masterclass in entertainment going on here.
Just unbelievable.
I'll give you 1.
This is a mind-blowing game of
Every
poker.
time I'm favorite, I lose. Against Jamie, he sucked out.
Because, you know, if he catches a king or queen, he can draw back out, you know. That's the strength of it. It's not like 2 overcards over a
I
pair.
understand, but he's got 3 to make. He doesn't have 4 guys. If he catches a straight draw, he's got 3 cards, not 4.
6-5 queen.
Both players have queens.
Oh boy.
And Guy's got to think that Sammy might be steaming from that last hand.
Sammy bets 11,000. Guy calls.
Guy just calls.
No, it's a good game tonight. I promise you that.
Another
Wow.
queen.
Wow.
That's the case queen, AJ.
Yes.
And Guy has got to feel that Sammy has got to be on fire from that last hand. Let's see if Guy raises here. He's got 3 queens.
No.
Wow.
No, he doesn't.
Really thought he would raise here.
Yeah, I would have too. I like the call. I just would have thought he was going to raise.
Oh, no.
Maybe Guy is thinking of raising Sammy here on the river.
Well, there's $50,000 from Sammy here.
I remember the last 2 hands, we had a flush draw and a pair of 9s with a jack kick, and now both players have 3 queens, and Guy just called.
Wow.
Amazing.
Good end. And a queen too.
Oh my God. You didn't raise it? That's how unlucky I am. I didn't raise it with 3 queens. That's pretty unlucky, right?
Oh my God.
Sammy's right. He is unlucky. If Patrik Antonius would have had Guy's hand or a couple other players at the table, Sammy might have doubled through him.
Yeah, for sure.
Gabe,
Oh.
we saw some.
For sure. Oh my God. What? Like,
Also, loving the tuxes, by the way.
Yes.
Loving the tuxes.
do you own a tux?
No, I don't.
I feel as though we need to have tuxes again on the next season of High Stakes Poker.
I agree. Great look. Get Nick Schulman in a tux.
Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. What an absolute riot these 2 back-to-back episodes were. I just cannot even begin to understand what we just watched.
Yeah. It really defies logic.
Exactly. Scott, thank you so much for doing this with me.
No, of course. Thank you for having me on.
This is just like some truly iconic footage. For the people watching, if you enjoyed the show, I do the show twice a week live. There's a early slot at 1 p.m. Eastern every Tuesday. Next week, Fade or Holds. Don't miss it. And then every Thursday, the late night hour to have some beverages, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We watch whatever it is, High Stakes Poker, WSOP, whatever we can find. Whatever you guys suggest, let us know in the comments and like the video and do all that good stuff. And then I'll keep providing some of this iconic footage. If you have not seen the show before, I've had Chris Moneymaker, Greg Raymer, and Joe Hashem on the show already to break down their final tables from back in the day. And Jamie Gold has a standing promise, as well as Patrik Antonius, to come on this show. So if you can tag them on social and let them know that it's time to come on the show, I would be very, 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 very grateful. Scott, thank you once again. Hopefully, I get to see you on Season 8 of High Stakes Poker. That'd be awesome.
Definitely.
And then hopefully as well, life can go back to normal. We can get WSOP again because, there must be a new story brewing of you, playing for 60 hours or something like that.
I hope so.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. This was Run It Back.